most amazing artists, I hope you are having a great day today. I am super excited because we finally get to put our Old Bear collages together. The first thing that we did during this project was we read Old Bear by Kevin Hanks. Kevin Hanks wrote this story, so he's the author, and he made all the pictures, which means he is the illustrator. If you haven't already, I actually did a read aloud of this book, so go check it out. After reading that book, we made some beautiful leaf rubbings, and we used warm or cool colors to paint the background of our leaf rubbings. And last week, we painted 4 different earth tones. And here's what my earth tone paper looked like. You should have made 1, 2, 3, 4 different earth tones by mixing any color that you wanted to with brown. And now we're going to take these 2 pieces of paper that we've been working very, very hard on, and we are going to cut and glue them to make a new picture. That is called a collage. We are going to collage Old Bear on a new piece of paper, and we're going to cut out leaves and glue them around Old Bear. So if you're at home creating this, you're going to need your leaf rubbing that we created in weeks 1 and 2. You're also going to need your earth tone painting that we made in week 3. You will need some glue, and you will need some scissors and a new piece of paper to glue your paper to. I'm going to use brown because that's kind of a running theme in this project. We use brown to make our leaf rubbings, and we use brown to create our different earth tones. So brown is the perfect color to put our collage on. All right, with all that being said, and now that you know all the materials that you are going to need, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to start with my brand new piece of paper because this paper is anonymous. It has no name. We need to go ahead and write our name on this new piece of paper and then flip it over so now your name is on the back. Then you're going to take your leaf rubbing paper, and on the back Miss M has drawn the head shape of a bear. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our scissors to follow along that line that Miss M has drawn for us, and we are going to use our very best scissor safety. Miss M's going to walk around today and make sure that you are using your best scissor safety because scissors can be dangerous sometimes if you're not using them correctly. So, to hold your scissors, you are going to put your thumb in the small hole and however many fingers you can fit in the bigger hole. I can only fit 2, maybe you can fit 3, maybe you can fit 4, just depends on your hand size. For me, I can comfortably fit 1, 2 fingers in this one and my thumb in the other one. Now, while I'm cutting, my thumb is going to stay on top. We should never cut with our fingers on top because it's a little bit awkward, and look where my scissors are facing. The blade is facing towards me, but when you rotate it around and make sure your thumb is on top, the blade or the blade of the scissors are facing away from you, and that's what we want. Our scissors should never be pointing towards ourselves or our bodies. It should always face away from you. The hand that's not holding our scissors is being pretty lazy right now. I like to call him my lazy hand. He's not doing anything. So we need to give him a job, and his job is to hold my paper. And he's actually going to show my scissors where to cut. So as I'm cutting, my scissors are just going to be opening and closing, opening and closing. They're not going to move around this paper. It's not going to move along these lines. My lazy hand is going to show my scissors where to cut. So my lazy hand is rotating my paper around and guiding my scissors along this line that Miss M has drawn for you. And notice my scissors are facing away from me. My thumb is on top. My scissors are just opening and closing. And my lazy hand is showing my scissors where to cut. Now it's okay if you don't get it exactly on the line. Look, I made a mistake, and that's okay. Just keep on going. Try your best. Go as slow as you need to. I would really rather you go slow and not finish today than rush and hurt yourself. Okay? So just take as much time as you need to make sure that you are being safe with your scissors. I just finished cutting out the shape for my bear, And I have all this extra beautiful paper. I don't want to throw this away. Miss M will have a spot for you where you can put this paper and we can actually make something else out of it later. So don't throw away this beautiful paper that we've created. We're going to save it and maybe we can use it in a future project. Now, when you're making a collage, anytime that you cut a shape out, you're going to want to glue it down almost immediately because we don't want to accidentally lose any of our pieces. So whenever you cut a shape out, just make sure right after you cut it out, go ahead and glue it down. And I have this little glue set up with a glue cup and a glue brush, and I'm going to do dot dot, not a lot, all the way around the edge of this shape. Okay, if your glue starts to drip a little bit, you can tell yourself a drip drip, wipe it on the lip of your glue cup, not the lips on your face, the lip on the glue cup, okay? We don't want it to be dripping everywhere, so drip drip, wipe it on the lip, not your lips though, the lip of your glue cup, and dot dot, not a lot, all the way around the edge. We don't even have to put glue in the middle, because if we put glue all the way around the edges, then we know this shape is not going to go anywhere once we put it onto our new piece of paper. So you can sing to yourself, dot dot, not a lot, dot dot, not a lot, drip drip, wipe it on the lip, but not my lips, not the lips on my face, the lip of my glue cup, drip drip, wipe it on the lip, dot dot, not a lot, all the way around the edge of my shape. Do I need to put glue in the middle? No, I don't need to put glue in the middle. That will be too much glue. We don't need that much glue. We just need dots all the way around the edge. When you have dots running all the way around the edge of your shape, you're going to flip it over carefully and you're going to glue it to the middle of your paper. And once you put it on your paper, you're going to want to carefully massage it down onto that paper. So we know that that glue is working and sticking this piece of paper to this piece of paper. If glue starts to squish out from underneath your paper, that means we used too much glue, okay? We don't want that to happen because then we're gonna get sticky fingers. It's gonna be a real mess, okay? So remember, dot dot, not a lot, drip drip, wipe it on the lip. After you glue something down, you need to do the wiggle test. Flip it over, wiggle it just a little bit, guys. You don't have to wiggle it like crazy. If you wiggle it too hard, then this will definitely fall off. But if you just give a little wiggle and nothing falls off, then you're good to go. Of course, if an edge does come up, then you can just get a little bit more glue and put it where you need it to go. So I have the head for my bear here. Now I'm going to cut out some leaves. And that's where our earth tone paper comes into play, because on the back of your earth tone paper, Miss M has drawn you some beautiful leaves. I have drawn 1, 2, 3 leaves in each of your earth tones. Okay, so each color is going to have 3 leaves. That means we should have 12 leaves altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is kind of a big piece of paper, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into strips. That will make it a lot easier when I'm trying to cut out my leaf shapes. So I'm just going to cut right where you can kind of see where I folded right there. I'm just going to cut on that folded line that I made last time to show you your 4 different sections. And I'm going to cut on that line. This is going to make it a lot easier to cut out our leaves. I'm just going to start with one section at a time, and that's a beautiful earth tone. I think I mixed blue in with brown, and it made a gorgeous, gorgeous earth tone. Now, I'm going to use my best scissor safety, just like we talked about when we cut out this shape here. And I'm going to cut out all of these 12 leaves. But after you cut one leaf out, you know what we got to do? We got to glue it down. So anytime you cut out a shape, you need to go ahead and glue it down. That way, they don't accidentally get thrown away. We don't accidentally lose it on the floor and get them all confused and not know whose leaves are who. So once you cut it out, just go ahead and glue it down using dot dot, not a lot, and drip drip, wipe it on the lip. Now, when you're gluing your leaves down, you can glue them a little bit overlapping your bear shape here. And I think you're probably going to have to overlap because there's not much room. And it's okay if some of the leaf is falling off of the edge of our brown paper here. You see how it's falling off the edge? That is totally fine. And I think I use a little bit too much glue because look, it's seeping out from underneath. So if that happens, what I like to do is just wipe it away with my fingers. And if my fingers get sticky, I can actually rub my hands together and then my fingers will not be sticky anymore because that glue will start to dry. So there's my first leaf all nice and glued down. It's overlapping my bear a little bit and it's hanging off the edge, and that's totally fine if your leaves are doing that as well. So let's cut my next one out. Once you cut a shape out, go ahead and glue it down using dot, dot, not a lot. Drip, drip, wipe it on the lip, but not your lips. And I want to space these colors out a little bit. I don't want to do all the same color together. I kind of want to move them around, so maybe I'll put this one over here now. And I'll just have it overlapping my bear just a teeny tiny little bit. Sometimes these painted pieces of paper don't want to get stuck down all the way, so you might have to hold them down and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there we go. I think I forgot to do a wiggle test for this one, but I'm going to go ahead, do a wiggle test, wiggle it just a little bit, and if nothing falls off, then you're good to go. So I'm going to do this for all 12 of my leaves here. When I cut one out, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Now, I'm going to try to space my colors out a little bit so it makes my picture a little bit more interesting. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish mine up, and then I'll be right back and show you what it looks like. Cutting out and gluing all of my 12 leaves, but I just want to make sure that I have all 12 here, so I'm going to go ahead and count them really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I'm good to go. I have 12. Double check after you think you're done and just count to make sure that you have 12 leaves. And I'm going to do one last wiggle test just to make sure none of this stuff that I've collaged today is going to go anywhere. I don't know if you noticed, but I started kind of tucking some of my leaves under this bear shape that I made because I didn't want to cover up my entire bear. I still wanted to be able to see the shape of my bear. So don't glue your leaves like on top of his head or anything. You can overlap a little bit on the edges, but not too much, because then we might not be able to tell that this is the head of a bear. We are not 100% done with this just yet. We have to add a few more details, and we're going to do that next week. But I hope you guys have a lot of fun creating your old bear collage today. Like I said, we have just one more step to do next week, add a couple more details, and then we will be finished. I can't wait to see how your collages are turning out. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.